everyone, my name is Michelle and I'm going to be discussing collective bargaining issues. So as a bit of an introduction, I just want you to keep in mind that these collective bargaining units are basically a union. So a group of people that come together to make decisions about the workplace, the environment, all that kind of stuff, just to kind of make other employees happier and higher job satisfaction, all that kind of stuff, okay? So according to Sullivan 2018, collective bargaining is the collective action taken by workers to secure better wages or working conditions. Sullivan 2018 states, the purpose of collective bargaining units is to protect employees from unfair practices such as mandatory overtime or firing without a cause. According to Sullivan 2018, collective bargaining units also may stipulate criteria for advancement that must be followed. So, these collective bargaining units are not just responsible for better wages, better working conditions, no overtime, no firing without a cause. They can actually make criteria for you to have to meet before you can advance in your career, which is actually kind of unique. Some background history about collective bargaining is, according to Sullivan, collective bargaining used to be ruled as illegal prior to today's labor laws that have been put into place. Sullivan 2018 states that since the enactment of National Labor Regulations Act in 1935, nurses and other employees of private for-profit healthcare institutions have been protected in their right to organize for collective bargaining purposes. So keep in mind, this did not allow all employees to be able to do this. According to Sullivan in 2018, the Civil Service Reform Act of 1978 gave certain federal employees the right to organize, bargain collectively, and participate through labor organizations of their choice in decisions affecting their work environment, depending on what federal agency employed them. So still, not all federal employees were allowed to collectively bargain after this act in 1978, but it did open up the doors for more employees to be able to do it. So are bargaining laws different depending on the state that you work in? Yes, as a matter of fact, they are. They are also different depending on whether you work for a private company or if you work for the actual state. So, nurses who work for the state are governed by that state's laws, and not every state has the same law. Some states can bargain, others can't. Some states don't allow overtime or wages to be a part of union bargaining, but other states do. To find out what your state allows, you would need to talk to your union representative and just become informed. So the process of unionization is 30% of eligible employees have to sign up and indicate that they are interested in forming a union before one can be formed. According to Sullivan 2018, the union will then petition the National Labor Regulations Board, and they will conduct an election. During this meeting, they will also verify that the employees that signed up, or the people that signed up, are truly employees of the company. They will also set a date to hold an election. The employer, the union, and the NLRB will meet and determine who is eligible to join the union. Nurses are not allowed to discuss bargaining during work time or at work. The contract will take effect after management and the employees all agree on the content of the contract. So what do nurses bargain for? So typically nurses will bargain for safe staffing ratios, no mandatory overtime, a maximum number of hours that can be worked in a row. So for example, no more than 16 hours in a row or something like that. They also are bargaining for a rule that states nurses cannot be floated to a unit that is outside of their scope of practice. So an OB nurse shouldn't be floated to a cardiac unit and expected to take a full assignment. Examples of current collective bargaining that's going on in today's world would be a process that reviews the wages of senior nurses and ensuring that these nurses are being compensated fairly. This is currently going on in a retirement home. Unions are investigating insurance opportunities for employees. Annual shoe allowance of $150 is also being bargained with at this current time. More sick time for full-time employees, so 5 additional days a year is being bargained, and then also part-time employees having a pro rata entitlement after 6 months of service. So grievances are something that come about when you're talking about collective bargaining issues, okay? So according to Sullivan 2018, grievances result when employees believe that the organization has violated the contract agreement. So basically, they're upset about something because something is not going the way that the contract states that it should be going. Okay? Grievances can be classified in these different ways as a contract violation, a federal or state law violation, management failing to meet their responsibilities, or agency rules being violated. So when a grievance comes up, there has to be a process of handling that said grievance. Okay? So if the union participants want to change their contract, they must notify the other party 90 days prior to the old contract's expiration date. If both sides are unable to agree on the changes after 30 days, then the Federal Mediation and Conciliation Services needs to be contacted. Once they are contacted, a mediator or inquiry board will be appointed, and they will make a recommendation within 30 days. Their recommendation will happen after 15 days. If the agreement still cannot be reached after 15 or more additional days, then a strike can be conducted. So, a strike is the organized stoppage of work by employees. If a strike is going to occur, the hospital employees must give the hospital 10 days worth of written notice so that they are able to find coverage so that their patients are still cared for. This is not the same for all workers, but it is something that needs to be done if you're a nurse and you are thinking about starting a strike or participating in a strike. You must give your hospital warning so that patients' care is not compromised. So some benefits of being a part of a union would be job security, control over your schedule, a higher income for union workers, involvement in retirement or pension plans. Unions also improve working conditions for workers in a way that promote individual, family, and community well-being. According to Hagedorn et al., unions have historically been involved in creating healthy and safe workplaces, advocating regulations that are monitored and enforced by public health entities such as Occupational Safety and Health Administration, which is OSHA. So unions are helping OSHA create safe places for people to work and not have to worry about getting hurt while they're at work. Here's a little video that kind of goes through some of the stuff that we talked about and kind of gives you a nice overview of things. The video does have sound, but it is just music, so I'm going to shut it off so that you can hear it well. Okay, so I thought that was a very helpful little video that just kind of wrapped everything up that we had talked about and kind of added the 5 steps that are involved. I didn't really find them spelled out anywhere else, and I thought this video did a really good job of explaining them and kind of putting it in a quick snapshot for you to understand. So just remember, if you would like to join some sort of a union in your workplace, go about the avenues. Find out if a union already exists in your hospital, or see what you can do to start one. See if you can get other employees interested in it, and see if you can do something to really benefit your workplace environment. Here's the list of my resources, and thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day.